I think this is going to be the last time we talk about Brandon Aiyuk. So here's the deal. Apparently, the 49ers, despite what they say, and they say that they want to keep Aiyuk, they've been talking, at least to some extent, to 4 teams, including the Washington Commanders. But the latest reports is...
Now, how do you have confirmation that they were talking to the
I don't have any personal confirmation other than I read stories.
Oh, okay. I know there's been speculation.
I think they've been linked.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the latest is that the Commanders aren't interested in Brandon Aiyuk, and that it's down to 2 teams, the Patriots and Steelers. Now, publicly, the 49ers still are kind of saying we want Aiyuk, but it seems like they are legitimately entertaining trade offers, and the latest from some of these insiders is there's the framework of a deal. So we'll see what happens. But it seems like the Commanders are out. Are you upset that the Commanders are out? I don't disagree with you there.
I don't think they've ever been
I don't think they've been seriously in. I think that they've, going back to Hard Knocks, that first conversation that Shane had with Dan Morgan.
On a sideline.
Which ultimately led to a deal. I think that they may have had that type of conversation.
Yeah, brief for 5 seconds.
Yeah, like, hey, what would it take? Would you be interested? But then they've never seriously pursued it.
In fact, I think they've been annoyed by him. I think they've been annoyed by Aiyuk constantly showing up and with Jaden and kind of like using Jaden as leverage. I think they've been annoyed by him more than they've been interested in him. That's my theory. And I don't think they were ever serious players. It's just, it doesn't fit the timeline. We're still here in the very first stage, the beginning stages, the infancy stages of this, rebuild. But again, this never seemed plausible.
The latest is, according to sources that told ESPN, the 49ers are now willing to listen to trade offers for Brandon Aiyuk and have given the star wide receiver permission to negotiate a contract with the other teams.
Right.
Is Adam Peters blowing it by not getting in the mix?
No.
So supposedly, the Patriots and Browns have both been in contact with the Niners and are interested. The Steelers apparently were interested, but barring a change, did not appear to be a potential trade destination any longer.
Why don't they just ride him out? He's already kind of showing his hand, and I don't blame him. I think he's doing the smart thing. He's doing the hold in thing where he shows up and he's standing there with a towel and watching practice. So he's not participating, but he's not technically holding out. So he's not getting fined, whatever it is, $50,000 a day, whatever. I mean, and apparently there's a new thing in the CBA where they can't rescind those, right? Isn't he showing his hand that come week 1, there's no chance he's going to miss a paycheck? He's already showing his hand. He's not willing to lose money over this thing. So just ride him out. Let him play on the last year of his deal or whatever.
They might do that.
But
they might also.
Why would you trade him?
Well,
he's a great
they've
player.
got Deebo Samuel. They drafted somebody in the first round.
Yeah.
They've got Kittle. They've got McCaffrey. They may feel like they're okay without Brandon Aiyuk, and ultimately, it's a salary choice. So I think
the salary's already set. I'm not saying sign
for
him.
this year.
I'm saying just play him out
beyond,
this year.
Well, they want to get something instead of lose them for nothing. You can do that.
You do. You
do
get
that,
something. You're going to get 17 games out of him.
The Commanders did that with Kirk Cousins, right? How'd that work out?
It's not. It's easy for Aiyuk to twist his ankle in week 2 and then just
to say he twisted his ankle.
Yeah, just not go back out there. I'm trying to. Eric, is your main reason why you wouldn't entertain bringing him in?
No, I'd entertain it, but
no. But it's just your main reason is timeline.
Yeah, I think it's too early. I feel like wide receiver's kind of an extravagant thing to spend a lot of money in free agency on. And in year 1 with your rookie quarterback, he's got weapons. He'll be okay. We're not seriously competing for championships yet. Let's wait. I just wouldn't do that now. That's all. He's a great player. But if I could get him for cheap, maybe. But I don't think I would just want to spend all my resources on a I feel like it's a luxury item.
Especially when you have 2. I've said this all along. Yeah, it'd be great to have Brandon Aiyuk this year with Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson. But I agree with you. It's a luxury item if Jahan Dotson works out. If Jahan Dotson can return to form like he looked as a rookie, then you don't really need him. Now, Chris Russell came on and he wasn't raving about Luke McCaffrey yet.
Mm-hmm.
Pointing to him playing at Rice, playing quarterback 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'd love to hear reports that Luke McCaffrey's popping. You know what I mean? Then you feel like, all right, you've got 3 pretty good receivers. He's got De'Ami Brown as number 3 right now. Dicey, right? But if Jahan Dotson goes back to how he looked like 2 years ago, then I don't think you need him. And the reports are, I don't know. Like you said, do I have confirmation? All I can do is read stories from reporters. And this NFL reporter's, the lead sentence is, this is from a story by Wendy Oliveros.
Mm-hmm.
The Washington Commanders were reportedly the only NFC team on the short list of 4 teams, including the Cleveland Browns, New England Patriots, and Pittsburgh Steelers, working with the San Francisco 49ers on a trade that removed themselves from contention.
Recently.
Yeah. It was a story from yesterday.
Yeah. I feel like they haven't ever been in, but maybe I'm just flat out wrong.
Well, maybe they, again, entertained a call or had a very quick discussion, and the 49ers said the conversation starts with the first rounder for next year. They said out.
There's also something about,
you know what I mean? Like
I hear you.
Like Adam Peters may be willing to give up, next year's second round pick, but doesn't want to give up a first round pick. And so they remove themselves from consideration.
I've also said that I think it might be a little bit of a distraction for Aiyuk, this sort of somewhat disgruntled guy, to come here and be a distraction for Jaden. Like, I need Jaden locked in, unencumbered, not worrying about his BFF and if he's getting his touches and if he's happy, and God only knows what advice Aiyuk's giving him. I'm not saying Aiyuk's a bad guy, but I don't even know if I want that for Jaden.
Might not be a distraction, though. So, again, if you want to chime in, 800-636-1067, are they doing themselves a disservice? Is Adam Peters doing himself and the team a disservice by not entertaining an Aiyuk deal? Now, part of the Aiyuk deal, you're assuming would be you got to give him a big fat contract, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Chris Russell was saying 28, 29 million, could live with that, but doesn't want to give him 32 to 35. No. Like, the reality is the going rate now for top receivers like a Brandon Aiyuk, I saw Devontae Adams still makes 28 or 29, but A.J. Brown's making 32 million. He's probably going to want something like that.
I'm not worried about the cash flow with this team.
I don't worry about the money either.
They got money coming out of their ears.
They can also,
but it's part of the deal.
They can also pencil it.
Adam Peters may be looking at the long game, and yes, they all want to win this year. But I'm with you that it's a little bit of luxury. You don't have to take care of it this year.
Yeah. Well, I think that's an antiquated way of looking at things. Mm-hmm. You think the Texans wouldn't have loved to have a Diggs-like threat in the playoffs against the Ravens?
Yeah,
there's a win. Everyone talks about these rookie contracts and how it allows a window for teams to win and allows them to sign multiple pieces. Well, if you're not willing to do that on year one of a rookie contract, then it's almost like you're wasting a year of that window.
Maybe. I just don't think that they're seriously competing for deep playoff runs.
Again, you got Jahan Dotson, who he was a first round pick. I think they expect him to have a bounce back. And then if you have Jahan Dotson playing like he did as a rookie, you got a legit 1 and 2.
But there's definitely a likelihood that you could lose McLaurin after his contract's up.
There's a possibility of that.
I mean, there's definitely a possibility with that. And I mean,
he's under contract through 2025, so you've got him for at least 2 more years.
And then I'm thinking even a little more down the road. If you're trying to re-sign Jaden Daniels after his rookie contract, don't you think it goes towards some good grace into signing a threat and a weapon that he wanted, that he's friends with? I think that could only
far
help
down the road.
I'm
for
just
Jaden Daniels
re-signing. I'm just saying.
I can't think that.
We were just talking about him potentially not playing in the preseason.
That's too far away.
I know it's too far away, but I'm
so you think they should entertain Aiyuk?
I think they should.
offers.
I think they should definitely. If you can get them for a 3rd round pick, you're nothing but
Right.
flush with cash.
Okay, but maybe that's why they removed themselves. If these reports are right, they might have removed
They're
themselves
not
because the
going to
price
trade
was
him
too high
you
for
think
them.
they're trading for a 3rd round
I don't know,
pick?
but if you can get them for
that
that
seems
cheap,
nutty. Yeah. Yeah, if you get him for a great
I'm
deal.
sure the 49ers want a first.
All right. Let's go to
Like
let
you
me
say,
see.
they don't have to make a deal.
Yeah, I would
mean,
just
like,
play him.
The 49ers maybe say, okay, we're going to entertain offers. Here's what we want. And they put up a ridiculously high price. And say, if you meet us here, 1st round pick, 3rd round pick next year, okay, we'll deal him. Anything less, he's going to play with us.
He's going to play with us. And then if he has another great year, then we'll pay him.
Right.
You don't necessarily have to lose him.